Google Sheets can do a lot of cool things, but some things you need to do with automation. But before you get scared, you don't need to know anything about coding for this to work. All you need to know is how to follow instructions. I have the code for you. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create an automation where we have a central database and we want items that are flagged from an automatically updating report to identify which ones are missing from the full database and go ahead and add those automatically for us. And we want this to run autonomously so that way we don't have to look at this for months on end if we don't have to. So for example, right here we have our full data. These are all closed won opportunities in Salesforce. You don't have to use Salesforce at all. You can use different types of tools. In this case, I am using Salesforce as an example. So we have all the different closed won opportunities. Then inside this auto data tab, I have a live sync of exactly which opportunities are closed won inside of Salesforce. And to add that, we go into extensions, Salesforce connector. And then from there, all you have to do is sync the report by going to reports and selecting which one you want to sync. And then you can set up an auto refresh by going to refresh. And then setting it up, you could do every 4 hours, 8 hours, 24 hours, and so forth. Once again, you don't have to use Salesforce. If you don't have the ability with the tool that you are building to automatically sync the report, all you'll need to do is just update the report in here whenever you want to update it. But from here, we have some new opportunities that were won. So on the to add column, this is going to flag any opportunities that are on the auto data tab that are not on the full list. Then from there, all we have to do is run automation. Once again, don't get scared. It will automatically move the opportunities from the to add tab to the bottom of the full data tab. And it's as simple as that. And to take it a step further, we're not going to run this ourselves. We're going to simply create a trigger where every day at a certain time, it runs it for us. So once again, it's completely autonomous and we don't have to do a single thing for it. We can give it to whoever needs it and move on with our lives. All right, so let's go ahead and build it. I went ahead and deleted everything so we can build it from scratch. This is simply just adding headers, so I did not delete that. But realistically, all this is 2 formulas as well as some code. And that's all you really need. And you can customize that code very easily to be exactly what you need for your spreadsheet, for your project. So first thing we're gonna do is go to sheetsbyolin.com and right up here, you'll see automation codes. This links to my GitHub. And here I have a lot of different codes that are for my different tutorials for task trackers or for any templates that I built. Then I also have other automation idea videos that have been published. The one you want to look for this video is published missing if yes. So automation ideas, publish missing if yes. Now I'm going to click on that. And then all you have to do is click this little copy button right here to copy the raw file. We're going to go back to our spreadsheet. We'll go to extensions, app script, and it should look like this. We'll go ahead and delete what's currently there and paste it. Now once again, don't be afraid, it looks scary. It's super simple to be able to update, to customize, to meet your need. One thing to note is that if this doesn't populate, if you're getting an error message, then that means that you're probably logged into multiple Google accounts at one time. In order to use app scripts, since they are across the entire Google org, simply log out of the duplicates and log into the one that you want to use. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit save, and then it may prompt you to authorize the app script. It does that whenever Google has not formally vetted the app script through its channels, just saying that it's user generated. Let's go ahead and rename this. So we're gonna click on the 3 dots, go to rename, and we'll just say publish missing, for example. The name doesn't really matter. You can rename up here by simply clicking into it, rename whatever you want it to be. If you haven't been prompted to authorize it yet, simply click on run, and then it will prompt you right here. If you see that it was successfully completed, then you know you're already authorized and you're good to go. All right, so for the spreadsheet itself, we're gonna do 2 formulas. We'll do the formula in column B first, and then we'll do the formula in column A. And with this, it's super important to use a unique ID. So it could be the opportunity ID, it could be a employee ID, account ID, a record ID, it could be an opportunity name as a last resort if there's only one that could happen for that. The reason why you want to have a unique ID is because if there's multiple with the same name, then it's going to reflect that it's on this report. It's not going to identify that there's multiple. It's only going to reflect that it's on the report and not add the duplicates. So super important. But what we're going to do is we're going to type equals filter, and then we're going to select the range that we want to return. And this is going to be the entire range. So if you wanted to just return the opportunity IDs, you could simply select J2 through J, and that's it. In this case, we want to select everything on this list. So I'm going to go A2 all the way through J. And then we want to delete the rows, so that way it goes all the way through the end of the column. And that's in case the report gets very long, so nothing gets missing. We'll put a comma, we'll put not, open parentheses, count, if, open parentheses. Now we're going to go to the full data tab and select all of the opportunity IDs. Once again, we're going to delete the rows, so that way it goes all the way through the end of the column. We'll put a comma, then on the auto data tab where we have our report synced. We're going to select all the opportunity IDs, delete the rows, and that's it. So you have the filtered range, and this range could match this, or it could not. They have to be in the same spreadsheet though. This range is going to compare with this range from the other tab. These ranges have to match. So J2 to J, J2 to J. Everything's good, so we can press enter. So just like that, every single opportunity ID that's not on the full data tab is being flagged. Now how this works, in case you're interested, is it's looking at the opportunity ID on the full data tab, and it's comparing it to all the different IDs on the auto data report. If it finds it, it's flagging that row as true, and if it doesn't find it, it's flagging that row as false. And filter formulas will only return items that are true. So that's where this not comes in. We're flipping anything that's true to false and anything that's false to true. If we were to delete that, for example, it would show everything that is on this list, and that's the same exact information that's on this list. So that's how that's working. So I'm gonna add that not back and press enter. Cool, so now we have all the missing values. Next thing we need is, if you look at the app script, it's only going to return values where yes is in column A. So we want to add a yes to column A automatically if there's a value right here. So we're going to type equals if, open parentheses, is blank, open parentheses, select B2, close parentheses, put 2 commas, so that way if this is blank, this is going to be blank as well. If it's not blank, then we're going to continue and add the word yes. And we're going to put yes inside quotes and have it capitalized for the Y. So once I press return, you'll see that something is here. So it's adding yes. Now, instead of adding things manually all the way down, we're going to turn this into an array formula. So we have one formula that applies to the entire column. So we're going to type Command Shift Return or Control Shift Enter, or you can simply type out array formula. And then instead of just B2, we're going to put B2:B. So now it's going to apply that same formula to every single item in that column. So now we're good. So as you can see, we have yes on everything that has a value right here in column B. If I were to put test right here, it automatically populates as well. We're blocking that from executing, so that's why that's not working, but that's how that works. So that's really all we need. So now once we go back to our app script, we can press run. It will automatically delete from this list and be added to the bottom of this tab. And as you saw, when it was added to the full data tab, this tab is now blank. And since this tab is now blank, there is no yeses as well. The reason why it's blank is because now there are no missing values in the full data. Now, I don't want to have to run this every single time. So we're going to go to Extensions, App Script, and then we're going to set up a trigger. So that way it will run this for me instead of me having to go in and manually press run. So over here to the left, we're going to click on Triggers. In the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see Add Trigger. And then this name needs to match whatever the name is of the app script. I only have one code in here. That's why it's only showing one. But if for some reason you have multiple codes in there, make sure you're selecting the function that we want to run. We'll select the event source. In this case, we want time driven, and that's because we want to be able to set it up for a specific time to run. We want to run this once a day, and you can run this however often you want. But in this case, I'm just going to do once a day. And let's say I want to run it at 3 a.m. to 4 a.m., sometime in between there. Once I hit save, it will automatically add that trigger. And one thing to note is that the time is based off of the location of the spreadsheet. If you want the spreadsheet to be in a different time, you can go to File, Settings, and then you can change the time zone right there. So I'm in Eastern time, so it's going to run between 3 and 4 a.m. Eastern time. So now I'm going to show you a couple ways to customize it, and I'm going to show you a real life flow. I'm also going to show you how to set it up where you can do an XLOOKUP formula. So that way you could only add the opportunity IDs, for example, and you can look up everything else in case any of these change. All right, so right now we have every single close one opportunity that's on our close one ops list already on the spreadsheet. And that's pulling directly from this close one opportunities report on Salesforce. So let's go ahead and close another one. So let's say erratic erasers. Let's go ahead and create a new opportunity just to show you exactly how it works. We'll say this is 4,500 erratic erasers 2025. Stage, we'll go ahead and just put it right into close one, and let's put new customer. And this is just the default version of Salesforce that comes for you to play around with. So that's why everything's super basic. All right, let's go ahead and save that. Oh. Now we need a close date, and we'll put it as today. All right, let's go ahead and save that. And now we have this one as closed one. So if we go back to our closed one report, I can refresh this, and now we have that right there. All right, so if I go to my extensions, go to Salesforce Connector, I have this set up for an automatic refresh every 24 hours, so I don't really need to do this, but just to show you how it works, let's go ahead and press refresh. And let's go ahead and refresh it. So once I refresh it, it's going to add that erratic erasers right to this list. So we can see that right here. And the reason why it's not last is because we have the close dates all kind of out of order. So this is before the last one. So that's why it's showing up second to last. All right, so now that that's there, and it will automatically flag that's a new opportunity. Now, if you wanted to, you could copy this if you didn't want to wait for the refreshes and things like that. You can go to Full Data, right click, Paste Specials, Values Only. And when you do that, it will be removed from this list so nothing will update. The reason why you cannot just copy and paste it is because this is actually a formula right here. So if I were to copy and I were to paste that, it's going to paste that formula as well. So make sure you do right click, paste values only. So that way it only pastes the values and not the formulas. All right, so now that we have all of our new close one opportunities flagged, every day between 3 and 4 a.m. it's going to run that automation. But let's go ahead and run it just so you can see how it works. This ran, and that's now at the bottom of the list for all of our closed won opportunities. And it's really as simple as that. All right, so to customize it, right now we have this sheet that it comes from saying to add. If you don't want it to be named to add, and this is the one right here, then you can rename this to whatever you want. Rename as example, for example, and then you'll just need to simply get rid of to add, input example. Full data, you can rename that as well, but basically this is the source sheet, so this is where the data is coming from. This one right here is the target sheet, so this is where it's moving to. So this just makes sure that it goes to the right tabs. So let's say instead of full data, I want to put close one ops. And the biggest thing with this is make sure that it's spelled exactly correct. The punctuation is correct. There's no accidental spaces, lowercase, uppercase, discrepancies, things like that. And make sure that it's in quotes. So let's go ahead and rename this one as close one ops, and let's just delete a couple of these so we have something else to add. Now if I go to example, we have these two that we just deleted. Now I can save it and I can press run, and it should automatically run if you did that correctly. If it didn't work and have this little pop-up, then that means that one of your tabs is named incorrectly. It's still going to show whatever we have right here instead of these ones right here, but you can kind of get the picture where to add is the original, full data is the one that it's going to. All right, so now right here, it's going to show which range we want to look up. So I want to look up A2 all the way through K, and this is from our source. So if I go back here, A2 all the way through K. So it's going to look up everything in those columns, but it's going to skip over row 1. And right here, it's saying yes. So if you didn't want it to say yes, you want it to say no, for example, or move, or whatever the case is, all you have to do is change this to whatever you want. So let's change this to move. Let's save that. And then instead of this, you can say, instead of yes, move. So now instead of yes being right here, now it says move. And if we were to run it, it will still work exactly as it would before. The only difference is that it has a different trigger that qualifies it. Instead of yes, it says move, and that's it. Now right here, it shows exactly what columns to go to. So column A is an index of 0. So we actually want to go B through K, because we don't really want to copy where it says move. That doesn't really make much sense for us. All we want to return are these values. So you just got to count them out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so forth. So if you only want to do a few columns, you can lower this number. So instead of 1 through 11, you can do 1 through 5, for example. Or if you want to do more columns, you can do 1 through 20, for example. And if you miscount, no worries. You'll see exactly which one's missing. And all you have to do is just adjust it in your app script. And that's really it. So to summarize, this is the tab that it's coming from. This is the tab that is going to. This is the range that it wants to look at, so A2 through K. Make sure that you're updating this if you're expanding or collapsing. If you are only going through I, for example, then it would be A2 through I instead of A2 through K. If you're going to Z, for example, then you're going A2 through Z or Z in other parts of the world instead of A2 through K. And these need to match whatever this is to. So if you're going A2 through I, you'll need to reduce this number to whatever it is for I. And if you're going through Z or Z, then you need to increase it to whatever this number is for Z or Z. And all you're doing is counting the columns where A is 0, B is 1, and so forth. Everything else is just code. You don't have to worry about that. That's just trying to make sure it finds the last row that currently has data and it pastes it after that last row. One thing to watch out for, if you have something down here, for example, it's going to recognize that this is not an empty row. So it may add below this one instead of adding below there. And that's because it goes to the next empty row. So let's say we want to only return the opportunity IDs, and then we want to do an XLOOKUP for everything else. So that way we have just the opportunity IDs, but if anything changes on here, we have the new information. This doesn't quite make sense for this project, but there are a ton of projects where it does make sense. So what we could do is instead of having the filter formula over here, we could either move the opportunity ID over and have it based off of a new location, or we could simply have this J2 through J, cut it, and then we'll paste it right over here. Now the next thing we need to do is change this. Instead of looking at column B, we want to look at column K. So we'll do K2 through K, and that's looking up the opportunity IDs. So now instead of having everything filtered right here, it's just going to list the opportunity IDs that are missing. So if I were to delete a few from this list, now it's going to be missing from here. And if we go to the auto data tab, it's going to only flag the opportunity IDs because that's all we care about for this example. But it's still going to add the move. And this still works the same exact way. The only difference is that the range that we're returning is just J2 through J, which is the opportunity IDs. For the code, everything should still be the same. And that's because we still want to copy those blank columns. So let's go ahead and run it. So now this is missing. If we go to close one ops, you can see now we have those opportunity IDs, but we don't have anything to the left. So what we can do is we can create a XLOOKUP formula combined with an array formula to be able to extract all the information from the auto data report based off of this opportunity ID instead of having to have a fixed value. So that way, if the stage updates or the close date updates or the amount updates or whatever, we'll have the live information on this report as opposed to whatever it was at the time of being added. So once again, for close one, it doesn't really make sense, but like I said, there's a ton of different use cases where this does benefit you. So we'll type equals XLOOKUP. The search key will be the opportunity ID. We'll put a comma, go to our report, select all of column J for opportunity IDs, that's the lookup range. We'll put a comma, and then we'll select all of column A, which is our return range. We'll put a comma, that way it's blank if there is no value found, and press return. So now you can see exactly who that is. Now we're going to change this into an array formula. So once again, Command-Shift-Return or Control-Shift-Enter if you are on a PC. Or you can type out array formula. We're going to change J2 to J2:J. And now if I press Enter, it will show me every single opportunity owner for each ID. But since it is a live sync, if one of these changed, so for example, if I change this to test, it's going to be updated to whatever the new value is on that report. So that's the pro of it. Now let's go ahead and anchor in the lookup range, and let's anchor in the search key. We don't want those to change. All we need to do now is simply drag these over, and we have all the information for each individual opportunity. And for some reason, this isn't recognizing that it's in the proper format. If that happens, you're in table form, simply just add the format back. So edit column type, number, currency, that'll fix that. Edit column type, date, date, and edit column type, date, date. And that's all good to go. So once again, if something changes after the fact, so instead of 7420, this is actually 7500, it will automatically adjust the information that's on your main list that you're building reports off of, dashboards, things like that, even though the opportunity ID was added well before these updates may have happened. So just to summarize real quick, we have a report automatically synced to our spreadsheet, and you can do Salesforce, you can do whatever. And if you can't automatically sync it, then you can manually add it right here. Anything that's not on the full list already will be automatically flagged to this tab right here. And then once a day between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. or whatever time frame you put, anything that's listed on this tab will automatically be moved to the bottom of this tab. So you have a full running list of everything that is in that type of report as a fixed value, but you don't have to worry about updating it or anything like that. And that's it. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. Make sure to check out my other automation idea videos. Let me know if you have any questions, and like and comment for more.